the college road for fans of comedy. The we do not talk about the college road being one of the toughest games in the biz.
Ooh.
Wow, that was a hard back when you could make money doing college shows. I don't think that exists anymore. I don't think any ways of making money as not a ticket selling headliner exist. I think this whole industry pulled the ladder up behind it and
Cruise.
cruise, but that's not for someone in their 20s. I was in my 20s. I started doing college shows when I was 25, which is the perfect age to do college shows. And every year I got worse at it because the
Yes.
older I got, the less I could relate to the audience.
Yes. Every
When I
now
was,
and
when I
then.
was 30, I was like, old man, sign
Oh
up
my.
for Social Security.
Oh my God. By late 20s. I remember by late 20s, I was still doing colleges, and I was like, guys, don't know what I'm doing here anymore.
Don't know. I
They,
did I
they
did 40 in a year. I think because I lost my job and then I started booking college gigs immediately. I think my first year I did 40, and I made like probably my rate was like 1,000 per show. I remember I was routed and making like 700 per show on some of them, but like, dude, it was a living. I got by. I could pay my rent, but I was flying Southwest out of LAX, connecting every time because there
yep.
was no everything was on the East Coast. I booked all my shows in Connecticut. Like I did
Hmm.
NACA Northeast and I did NACA Nationals at the same in Hartford as well. And then I booked all the shows around there. So I'd fly through Midway to Bradley. I'd fly day of because I didn't want to pay for an extra hotel. So I'd catch a 5:30 a.m. flight, hang
Yep.
out, grab a sandwich at Midway, land at like 4 or 5, run straight to my rental car, and then drive another 3 hours to whatever, you know, Portland, Maine, or worse, Bangor, Maine, and then try
Yep.
to get out the next day, and then go straight to the Comedy Store to not do spots, all with the
Dude,
one backpack, one Speedo backpack.
it
Oh,
was one speed. That's so you.
mm-hmm. Dude,
You
swimming
still.
backpack, incredible capacity, incredible. Yet still fit under your seat. Never
I
use the
mean,
overhead
dude, I would do the ones I was most proud of was my 24-hour ones.
bin.
When I
Oof.
would go, I leave my house, I'm gonna fly to Maine, and I'm gonna be back home within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
That's great.
tight.
Out
That's
of
how
LA.
tight I would book it.
Yeah, well, you can catch an AM, or you're good at catching morning flights. You
Still to
always
this day.
prefer to this day, which is wild to me because like if I get up that early, the day's gone. I lose 2 days.
Get me on that flight, knock me out.
God, I'm such an old man now. When I fly back, I don't on a Sunday when I fly back, even if it's like a good flight at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Yeah.
I do not book that night out on Sunday. So Sundays I take off because I wait if I fly that day, that's all I want to do that day, and I want to go home and just I don't know, veg out, watch the pit. Yeah,
Ugh,
we're not. I'm
I
not.
hear
I'm
that.
not hungry the way I was. But man, those were God. Those were tough times. What years were you doing that?
It was before I knew you because I
Uh
got
huh.
into it early.
Hmm.
I was with I was with Joey Edmonds Presents. They they no longer exist. I don't think any of the boutique college agencies exist anymore.
Now it's Joey Edmonds past.
I re-
It,
clip
it,
it.
it suffers from the conjugation of verb and a noun having slightly different pronunciations. Contract, contract, present, present. Yeah.
Sh- The Joey Edmonds Presents, and I got with them like super early because I opened for my friend Josh at a
Uh-huh.
college, and we did well, but they just liked the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So the lady like booked both of us to come back,
Mm-hmm.
and so the that was how I got signed. The college agent called me. She's like, "They want to book you again too. Who are you?"
This is before me.
This is before you. I was doing
Wow.
colleges
We met in 2013.
early. That's how I did.
Yeah, you were.
That's
You
how I
were.
did my first. That's how I did my first like hour
Huh. How many did you do?
colleges.
Yeah.
I probably only got up to like 20 a year because I never got into a NACA.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, NACAs, buddy. I could talk all day about NACAs. Oh my God. I
We
don't know if
can't.
they exist anymore.
They do. They do.
Okay.
They're still out there. I was talking to
Yeah.
somebody doing them,
Yeah.
and I
Wow.
said, Nice to know. Nice to know the
N-
NACA game is still
No.
going." Those that don't know NACAs, you would bring a bunch of college kids
Into
to a
an airplane.
random, yeah, to the worst place you can imagine for comedy.
Yeah, Reno, Hartford, convention towns. It's a place where the downtown has ample parking. and there's a
Yes.
convention center with multiple hotels. It's a certain kind of city: Fort Wayne, Indiana; Peoria, Illinois;
Yes.
Spokane. They're just not too busy of metropolitan areas. Never going to be a direct flight. Never ever in your life going to be a direct flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you apply. It's like $250 to apply, or it was back then.
Yep. You're losing
And,
money.
and then if you get in, you have to pay to submit, or you have to pay for your entrance, like for your pass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another like maybe 250, maybe it was 500, and then you
Yep.
have to fly there and put yourself up. So you're out like 1,000, even $2,000 just
Yes.
to go up and perform at 10 a.m. after a host who is not a comedian but a beat poet, and then you're followed by a magician or a ventriloquist who's also funnier than you. By the way,
Yes.
they're a magician and their jokes are better than yours, and you hope
Yes.
you book anything at all. Yeah,
You've invested at the time more money than you can imagine. It's more money than you've invested in your career at any point
hmm
to go to a NACA. And if you don't book gigs, that's just what happened.
that happened to me twice. I got goose eggs twice.
I never, I always had the upside downside of I never went to one.
hmm
And as a result, I never had because I knew people who would get into like particularly nationals and they'd be like, my life is about to change.
hmm
And I'd be like, hey,
hmm
you're following a magician. You go after use a ventriloquist. You're gonna wanna hustle
hmm
hard to
hmm
get through this.
hmm
But they were and people would go and they'd be like, they come back and they'd be like, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Because the kid, it's you couldn't, and you had 5 minutes, right? It was 5 minutes,
No, 10 to 15.
10 to 15. I apologize.
15 actually, which is too long for a lot of people.
I was gonna say that's actually pretty long.
Yeah. NACA Nationals 2014 was what changed my life because I just lost my job like the day I moved to LA. I basically lost my job and didn't know how
I
I was going to
remember.
make that happen. And then I booked nationals, and then my flight got canceled. Um, so I had to like take a different route to. I think I had to fly. I had to fly somewhere like 3 hours north, and then drive in overnight and wake up at like for an 8 a.m. sound check, 10 a.m. show, and I just like willed it to go well. Somehow, it just went well, even though it shouldn't have. And I remember rushing over to the booth and seeing a woman hot on my heels wearing a Harvard sweater, thinking, "Hell yeah, I'm going to perform at Harvard. That's going to be so fun." Harvard girl racing up to my booth. I post up, and then at the last second, she makes a hard right and goes to the Python across the way from me because this girl from Harvard wants to touch a python.
Oh, there was one
That's
guy,
the brightest they are.
and you go,
I remember my contemporary. I'm like, "That's what you want? You want to touch a python?"
dude. They used to. I mean, oh, who was the guy? There was some college comedian who used to have Dunkaroos.
Dude, whatever. I would play puns and give out a T-shirt with the kids. So
I mean, listen, I never did it because I was like, I can't compete. I knew at a certain point pretty quickly, I was like, I'm never going to be able to do the hustle for college hard enough. And this began my struggle of not willing to play the game I should be playing.
hmm
Was early I discovered I don't have the college hustle in me. I have the I'll show up and do a great job. I don't got the let me sit at a booth and chat with you for 20 minutes and win
when
you
it,
over.
when
I
it's
don't
your only
got it.
source of income, you learn how to do it. But
I
it
should have.
was such a sales job outside of just the performance. But man, it was not set up for comedy to go well.
No.
No,
No.
it was the room you could fit multiple, like you could fit the stage and 1,000 people in this room and still have most of the room empty. That was the
Yes.
rooms in which you do the showcases. Um,
Pe- People
yeah.
would send me pictures and I'd be like, why would you? It is so funny. And this happens a lot with corporates.
hmm
The amount of times you walk into a room and you go, and they go, what do you think? And in your mind, you go, if I were to design a room to fail in at comedy, you've done it.
hmm hmm
You've somehow managed to make
Like
the worst
nailed
environment.
it down to
You
details
nailed
I
it.
would have never even thought of.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, let's have a let's have a eternity between you and the crowd for some reason.
Yes.
So much dead space between us. Let's make us as separate as possible.
I told you the last college show I really ever did was they put me on a stage in the middle of a basketball court, right there in the middle in an arena, and then they put like 40 chairs on the court, far from the stage, and then they sat the arena. So there was half a basketball court between me and when the audience started filling in, they didn't push them to the court. Who would sit on the court? You're basically everyone can see you. And I was trying to quit nicotine that weekend, and like they started the sound check late, which I was already annoyed about. They couldn't tell me who could do the projection and the audio, and I kept being like, "Well, who do I talk to?" They're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Fucking figure it out." Like we have 20 minutes till showtime, and then they start seating. And I'm like, I can't be here doing sound check and all this stuff while they're seating. I need to disappear and then magically show up. And they said I was hard to work with, is what they said. And to be fair, they were the God. That was an awful show.
Well,
I think
it's
Drew University. No, I'm sorry. Drew's in Maine. No, this was Bradley. Similar white guy name, Drew and Bradley.
yeah, I was gonna say it's a white guy college, white guy
Yeah.
name.
Like, and
Yeah,
then, but just it was a half a basketball court between me and the audience.
it's
How am I supposed to do crowd work? How am I supposed to like?
it's so hard because you are difficult to work with because of you had a moment of honesty because you can't do that. You have to go into these environments and go, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't change a thing. I mean, that wouldn't change a thing. Maybe we could potentially. What if we? And I'm just spitballing. And you can try to get things changed, but the second you go, I need someone to fucking figure this out. They're like,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, you're done. Like
yeah,
you can't say it.
yeah,
You got to be a
yeah.
good little boy.
But I mean, you always have to do. Luckily, I don't do colleges anymore. But you always, I feel like there's always something you have to do that's not the fun part of the job, even for entertainment, even when you're living the dream. I mean, Chappelle did Riyadh, so like, like Seinfeld still does corporates.